What is up, YouTube? Dottz Gaming here with the first video in the How to Affliction Lock in PvP series. It's going to be 3 videos, and this first one is going to cover spec, glyphs, and stats. The second video will cover macros, and the third video will cover basic rotation and abilities and things of that nature. So to start off, let's start with the spec. So this is the talent spec I run on a general basis. The first tier is Dark Regen. Soul Leech and Harvest Life simply are just not as useful for PvP. When you have Dark Regen, you can macro it with your Health Stone, which gives a good on-demand heal. So if you really need to pop that defensive cooldown, you can just give her the old pop, and you'll get a good heal. Second tier, you're going to choose between Shadow Fury or Mortal Coil. On a regular basis for BGs and everything, I use Shadow Fury. Basically, you want to use Shadow Fury if your comp does not have a reliable stun. But if your team does have a bunch of stuns, all you'll be doing is adding more DR to your partner stuns. So you're just going to run Mortal Coil. The third tier, you'll never use Sacrificial Pact. It's just not as good, because if you try to run Sacrificial Pact and your demon, it just sacrifices too much health, it'll get bursted down. It's not a good talent in my opinion. Probably 80% of the time I run Soul Link. It is a fantastic talent. It splits 20% of the damage between you and your pet, and you get 3% extra healing from your damage, so it helps keep you and your pet up. And if you are going against a major burst team and you're scared you are just going to get absolutely destroyed, run Dark Bargain. But then when it comes to the 75 tier, you're going to want to run Grimoire of Sack as opposed to Grimoire of Supremacy. So on to the 60 tier, I personally like running Blood Horror on a regular basis because I just like that extra self-peel to get melee off of me, being that Warlocks do, in my opinion, have some trouble against melee if you don't have your port and your gate set up. We have a lot of CC, but a lot of it needs to be, hard casted. Just Fear needs to be hard casted. But the problem is a lot of melee nowadays have many outs for, the CC that Warlocks have. So it's just another extra self-peel. But if you're in Arena and you're against wizard teams, obviously you don't need Blood Horror. Or if you're against a hunter caster team, run Unbound Will, or you cannot even run Blood Horror and just run Unbound Will. These two are pretty give or take. If you're running against melee, though, I'd recommend Blood Horror. If you're against not melee, go Unbound Will. 75 tier, whenever you're going, this is simple. If you're going Soul Link, get Grimoire Supremacy. If you're running Dark Bargain, get Grimoire of Sacrifice. You will pretty much be running Soul Link Supremacy most of the time, unless you're going up against teams that are going to beat the crap out of your pet and just constantly kill it. Then you can just run Dark Bargain, go Sack. But I would try to recommend running Soul Link and Supremacy as much as possible. The 90 tier, I'm not going to even talk about it. Take Archimonde's Darkness, Killjaden's Cunning, and Manoras Fury suck for Affliction PvP. There's really not even much to discuss. So, Glyphs. These Glyphs are pretty much just, you don't really swap them out at all, in my opinion. These are the 3 that all the top-rated PvPers take. Unstable Affliction reduces the cast time of Unstable Affliction by 25%. You gotta, it helps so much to have that cast time cut in half. Even with it cut in half, it's got about a 0.88 second cast with all my haste and everything. I could not imagine 25% more on that cast time. Trying to hard cast that would be a nightmare. Glyphs of Siphon Life, your corruption spell will heal you for 0.5% of your maximum health when dealing damage. I like this because with Glyphs of Siphon Life and Soul Link, you have little bits of healing just trickling in constantly, so it helps keep you topped off. You can, if you would like to, run Glyph of Healthstone instead. You receive 100% more healing from your Healthstone, but the health is restored over 10 seconds. But I like Glyph of Siphon Life personally. The last one is Glyph of Eternal Resolve. You cannot use Unending Resolve, but you passively get 10% damage reduction from all sources. It just makes you that much tankier, makes you tankier, and if melee and other people are going to train you, you take 10% less damage, which is huge. Alright, so stats. For your guy, you are going to want to prioritize, obviously, intellect over everything else. But then after that, the stat priority is haste, Mastery, Critical Strike. So Affliction Warlocks have certain haste breakpoints for their spells, and which gives your dots extra ticks. Your haste gives dots extra ticks, as well as decreasing your cast time. So by going haste, your fears have lower cast times, your unstable affliction has lower cast times, all your hard cast abilities have lower cast times, as well as a lower GCD. But the main thing is getting those extra dot ticks. Now, if you go on something like Mr. Robot or one of those types of websites, you can look at the haste breakpoints. I personally recommend getting either 27.76% haste or 29.16% haste, and that is before any haste buffs of any sort. I believe that gives the 27.76 is a corruption tick, and 29.16 is a agony tick, if my memory serves me correctly. If you want to know how many extra ticks you get from all those abilities, just check that website out and just give it a look for yourself. After that, Mastery, Affliction's Mastery is fantastic. It just literally increases your dot damage. I can read it to you exactly. It increases the damage of Agony, Corruption, and Unstable Affliction. Just flat damage increase for your 3 main dots. It's a fantastic thing to take. And crit, you don't really use crit much as Affliction at all, really. So, yeah, that is pretty much the gist for Spec, Glyphs, Stats, and Gear. And stay tuned for part 2 of the series. If this guide should be in a playlist, and you can look through the playlist to see all the other videos that are in it. As always, subscribe to the channel. Check me out on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, all that jazz. So I hope this was informative. Take a look at part 2, and have a good day, guys.